Not quite ready to go yet, but here's a sneak peek of what I'm working on. I'll stick the battery on there. There, that's good enough for, okay. Yeah, so the battery's not wired in yet. The controller's not wired in yet. I actually have some different handlebars coming, but there's the off-road tubes and tires that it came with. Not using those. I went with a Continental Double Fighter 2.0, and they're tubeless. I just installed them today, so it's a little bit less off-roady, I guess. I mean, I'm a street rider, but you know, these will work better. And it's kind of hard to find really good dedicated street tires in 29. But you know, these seem to be good. Continental makes good tires and tubeless, so that's cool. So I'm basically done with that. I have a front rack with a basket coming. That'll come on when that gets here. I don't know when that's going to get here. Here's a look at the motor. CYC X1 Stealth. I got it installed on here. You can see, if you look at the chain clearance right here, it's a pretty tight squeeze. I have a little bit of room, but one of the problems I'm kind of dealing with right now is that the motor is actually offset to the right. So the right pedal is 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch further away from the bike than the left pedal. So left pedal, right pedal. And so I was actually going to uninstall everything and then try to eliminate the spacers, but that sprocket sits so close to the frame already. I really just don't want to do it. Plus, I actually like the positioning of this pedal better than the positioning of that pedal, especially because I'm going to have the battery right here between my legs, and I really don't want to hit that. So I actually found that there are such things as pedal spacers that go right here between the crank arm and the pedal. So I'm just going to go ahead and install a pedal spacer and see how I do with that. So hopefully that's enough. I mean, it'll look a little weird, I guess, but I just really don't care about that. I'm just trying to like commute and stuff. So yeah, full suspension, Polygon D6SE. It's sturdy. The brakes work nice. They're hydraulic disc. I mean, they're kind of noisy and stuff, but I'll see what I can do with that. Yeah, but then that's how I got the battery set up. I was hoping, looking in pictures, that I'd be able to fit the battery in here, and it is a close one. I mean, it is so close. I could probably like fart around with it enough to make it work if I really wanted, but as you can tell, I gave up and just decided to put it up here. You know, I like it up here because it's further from the ground and it's less likely to get dirt and grit and crud on it. And it's a fine spot. I mean, it's sturdy up there. I usually like the weight lower on a stronger part of the frame, but I think it can handle it. And it's not like I'm going to be going off sweet jumps and stuff. I mean, it's basically a commuter, and, you know, I'm sure eventually I'll do some fun stuff in the dirt. But yeah, so I've got to hook the battery into the motor. The speed sensor is done. Finished that today. Tubeless street. Well, they're not street tires, I guess, but more street than the ones that were on it. And then I got my old pedals off my old bike. I put my Brooks saddle on there, and I have some 5-inch riser bars coming. So they're Sunlight 5-inch riser bars. So they're going to come up quite a bit. As you can see, let me see if I can get a good, the handlebar sits quite a bit lower than the seat, and I want to sit up nice and straight. So I like that the stem is short because that brings the reach in, which helps you sit more upright. Because like basically the more you go this way, the more leaning you're going to be. And then the more you go down, the more leaning you're going to be. So I want to be more upright. So being in close like this is already a win. And then coming up 5 inches is going to be huge. And I think the new handlebars have a little bit of a sweep to them. They're actually mountain bike bars. So they're not hardcore swept like my old commuter bars were, but they're more swept than these. These are almost perfectly straight. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So it's all stock except for the motor, the battery, and the seat, and then the tires. It's a Shimano 10-speed clutched derailleur. I've got the clutch off for now. I mean, if you're not riding off-road, I don't really know what the point of having the clutch on is. You know, obviously if you're taking jumps and stuff or riding over a lot of ruts, mightn't be real handy, but yeah, so pretty good though. And I've ridden it I've taken it on a couple of rides just around the neighborhood, real short distance with the motor and battery on it. Obviously, there's no power coming from the motor at this point, and I can pedal this thing no problem all day with no assist. So I think this is going to be exactly what I'm looking for. It's a bike that I've got the power from the motor when I need it, and it only adds to my workout when it's not there. It's not unpleasant to ride without the motor at all. So it should be a pretty good commuter for me. I do have fenders coming too. I got these German plastic fenders that look pretty sweet that are for dual suspension mountain bikes. I got a front fender and rear fender. And then, as I said before, I got an Old Man Mountain axle mount front basket, rack and basket. I think the basket's not going to make it for a while. Those are back ordered, but hopefully the rack will get here soon. And what's cool is I just pull the through axle out of the front, and then they give me a new through axle. So I put my new axle in, and my basket will mount to that axle. So the weight is all transferred right into the axle, so it's much stronger. So that's a great setup. And I would prefer to damage a fork to a frame, which is one of the reasons I like having stuff in the front. I mean, it does dampen your steering a little bit, but I don't haul a lot of weight. I haul like 20 to 30 pounds usually. And so it's not too prohibitive. But yeah, so I'm basically turning a full suspension mountain bike into a Gucci Commuter, I guess. But that's where we're at. 180 millimeter rotors. Specs for a Siskiu D6SE are online. You can find those online. Bikes.com is where I bought it. The dropper post with a Brooks seat is fascinating. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out. So there we are. And I'll keep you up to date when I get more info, more stuff done.